Welcome to Upskill Podcast Vietnam, the #1 podcast to develop your skills for the future. I'm Dave, your host. This podcast is designed to help you get ahead and stay ahead in your learning and development so that you can succeed in life, career, and business. I'm so happy to have you here, and thanks very much for listening. Let's get started for another episode here on Upskill Podcast Vietnam. And welcome back to the Upskill podcast. I'm so happy you could join for another episode. And today is a very exciting day because I have Murat Bostanci here for an interview. Hello, Murat.
Hello, Dave. Thank you for invitation.
You're very welcome. Very happy to have you here. And my listeners are very curious to know about you, especially that you're in the area of consulting and training services in lean manufacturing. And you're the first interview that I have for the Upskill podcast. So very excited to meet you and talk about your story. Could you share your background story and career path with our listeners?
Sure, Dave. It's Murat Bostanci. I'm lean consultant and metallurgical and materials engineer from Turkey. And I have been living in Vietnam for almost 4 years. And I came to Vietnam as director of manufacturing, and I worked here in a factory for 3 years. And right after that experiences, we established our consulting firm, and we wanted to share our know-how, knowledge, and experiences on lean manufacturing. And this is recently what we are doing here.
Fantastic. And you're from Turkey, is that right?
Yeah, it's correct.
Yeah, Turkey's got the amazing culture, amazing food, right?
Exactly, and our culture is similar to Vietnamese culture. That's the best part, working in Vietnam, living in Vietnam also. So we are having joy of these similarities.
That's fantastic. And tell us more about lean manufacturing. Some listeners may not be familiar with lean manufacturers. Could you just explain it in brief, and why now, why Vietnam?
Lean, we can describe it with one sentence. Lean is identification, elimination, and reduction of waste and non-value activities within a process as perceived by the customer. So it means we are eradicating wastes in all types of process, whether in manufacturing or a service business. So this is lean, and this is what we are doing. And recently we are running one non-profit organization, Lean Institute Vietnam, to contribute development of the industrial and the society in Vietnam through lean thinking and practices. This is our pattern, our philosophy, and we're sharing with the professionals in Vietnam.
That's very interesting. Could you take us through the journey being in Vietnam, working in the manufacturing branch here as a consultant, and also in tandem recently building awareness for the Lean Institute in Vietnam? What have you found currently on the ground in factories in Vietnam? And what's the current state?
The current state is, first we must start with awareness. And Vietnam is getting a better industrial country. And after the trade war between US and China, more manufacturing plants are coming to Vietnam. So for labor and the manufacturing environment in Vietnam, lean is critical for their success, because the market demand is different than the recent market understanding in Vietnam. That is what we are trying to change also. It's totally related to change management, and bringing our philosophy to Vietnamese business environment is our goal. We know it will be successful because lean is related to Toyota is, and it was very successful
Toyota,
all over the world.
Yes.
So we trust in our practice, and we expect the best for both FDI companies and Vietnamese-owned companies in Vietnam to reach a better level.
So lean manufacturing is all about eliminating waste, improving the systems, and you have a philosophy for that. I also understand that you have visited more than 500 factories in Vietnam. Now that's an incredible number.
Exactly, because it was normal, because while I was running a factory here, I almost visited almost all factories around the industrial park. And right after starting this consulting business, also visiting companies too. So small, medium enterprises, maybe around 500 right now. And before it was about our maybe friendship or something else, or visiting a supplier. But right now, totally for something else. Lean Institute Vietnam is a non-profit organization on operational excellence, lean manufacturing, and we are visiting them to bring our know-how to their work environment.
Fantastic. So take me through the process a little bit in making contact with these companies and then the next steps.
So actually, everything begins with diagnosis. Same like a doctor diagnoses a patient.
Yes.
Before writing a prescription, because sometimes our friends, business owners, are asking us, what's the next step or what's the first step? We always tell the same. The first step is awareness. Awareness, lean awareness. The first step is, if there are no problem, you have a big problem. And we always ask, what are you doing in your regular work day to improve your business? Making any change to improve something? So this is one of the core of the understanding. And we visit factories to diagnose and identify improvement opportunities, and we develop an action plan how to proceed, how to progress. And this is our business. It is something we do with our Lean Institute Vietnam, and I hope we are going to support all kind of manufacturing companies in Vietnam, also service companies in Vietnam, and we are recently targeting a social project for hospitals and educational institutions such as schools, public 5S organizations, and I hope we are going to increase awareness by these kind of projects, add value to both businesses and business owners and the labor.
Yes.
By this way.
And could you just list briefly the main critical things that are needed to develop this awareness of lean manufacturing and the benefits of it, the critical areas of development?
There is only one requirement, is an open mind. If you're open-minded, everything is possible.
I like that, an open mind.
And benefits are countless, because when you eliminate the waste, what you have in your hand is value. So as long as you eliminate all type of wastes and minimize non-value added activities, your all operations will become value, creating value, and it will improve your quality.
Yes.
It will improve your cost, actually reduce your cost, and improve your delivery conditions. It means profitability, cash flow. So it makes companies more competitive. In the last year, World Economic Forum published the competitiveness index, and Vietnam is 77th right now. So we must everybody who lives in Vietnam must ask the question to themselves: how can we improve it together?
Absolutely. So eliminating waste is the key factor. Adding value is what you're all about. That's fantastic. you recently came out with an article, Murat, on LinkedIn. That's how I found you. So I recommend all our listeners to read the article. The title is Targeting FDI Firms and Crab Mentality. What was the main message you wanted to send readers in this article you wrote?
Actually, to be sincere, I felt a bit sad when I read an article in one newspaper, and it was questioning why FDI companies are benefiting the trade war but not Vietnamese companies. So that was something made me sad, because also about the sentences there, but the core of the article is foreign investment in Vietnam is very successful, getting all the fruits, and Vietnamese companies are still small size and cannot benefit. So this is something we are working on. So we must ask a question to ourselves: if they can do, why we cannot do that? We can do that. All Vietnamese companies can compete both FDI in Vietnam and overseas rivals. We believe this. So of course, to do this, anything they can do, we can do better.
Right.
But to do this, what we should do? This is the question, and answer is directly aligned with our lean solutions. So that is why I wrote this article, and I'm very happy with the feedbacks I received, and thank you also, you connected with me through this.
Absolutely.
And I'm very happy about it.
So you don't want Vietnamese companies to feel that they can't compete. You believe Vietnamese companies can indeed compete, and they can hopefully even do a better job. Let's see, with your support and your guidance, Vietnamese companies can reap the benefits, but things have to change, of course, and that's what you're all about.
Exactly. We believe they can do everything better. Even I made a quotation from Hannibal Barca from Cartaga, we say in my country. So that commander says, I will either find a way or make a new one. So
I like that. I will either find a way or make a new one. That's
exactly. So we are offering Vietnamese companies and FDI companies in Vietnam a new way. The new way is exactly the Toyota way. The lean, it started in Toyota, and after MIT research with Womack and Jones, the whole world learned what is happening there in Japan, how they improve their processes and how they get more competitive in time.
Yes, I think our listeners will be familiar with Kaizen Approach. Exactly,
Kaizen is one of them, and 5S is widely known in Vietnam too.
5S,
and
yes.
There are more than this, and basically there are 5 fundamentals, and we follow those. And those are, first we need to identify value, then we map the value stream, and we create flow, and we establish flow, and we seek perfection. Those are the core fundamentals of lean, and we advise all companies, even small or big, to invest in their operations, in their people, and train their people on getting better.
Fantastic. Now, before we go into training and learning and development in this interview, I'd like to go back to the conventional model in your article versus the market-in model, and please enlighten us on the way it really should be in reality in terms of market price, etc.
Exactly. In conventional model, we produce something, we identify our cost, and we add our profit through our profitability goals, and we identify a selling price, and we sell it, then we get profit. But that model is not working anymore, because market has a price already. And if you can produce below this market price, you make your own profit. If you can produce, then you lose your market. So this marketing model is the most valid model right now in all over the world. So that is what we wanted to underline in the competitiveness report. Why Vietnam is 77? So it means there are something in competitiveness. There's a problem. So how can we overcome the problem? Is making improvement activities, seeking improvement opportunities, and benefiting these opportunities. Every problem is an opportunity. For everything, it is correct. During our life, when we face a problem, it's an opportunity to improve. I believe like this, and it's something we confess. It's happening in our life like this.
Absolutely.
Problems makes us stronger.
Absolutely.
So for markets, when you face a problem, and I know many factories are facing profitability problem, then they must look at their processes. All over these processes, from receiving cash and receiving order, between these, everything you observe, and you find all kind of problems, because every problems are under these things. So in the model, the new model, lean model, is we know the market price, market demands, and so if we reduce our cost, we improve our profit. As long as market price goes down, but we reduce our costs, so we still remain profitability. Our profitability remain competitive with the whole market. So this is what we want to bring to the business environment in Vietnam.
Exactly. So currently there's a competitiveness issue. Companies are struggling to be competitive in the market. There's a profitability issue, and we need to respect the market price in order to grow our bottom line. So what can manufacturing companies do better exactly, in your opinion, right now?
So the customer demands better quality with a better price and with a better delivery conditions, such as you are going to buy something. You never want to receive that thing 1 month later. You want to receive as soon as possible, as long as you pay that moment. So at everything, so you also expect the best quality you can get. So while we run a business, we focus on quality, we focus on delivery, and of course we focus on our cost to have profit. So these three things are basics of our business. So we focus on this: improve the quality, improve the delivery, and reduce our cost, remain competitive, get profit, increase cash flow. These are the results of actually lean manufacturing.
And now moving on to learning and development and training. You've had extensive experience in training and development as well. Let's talk about the current level of skill in Vietnam and comparing it to FDI companies. What can we do to help Vietnamese companies get the skills that they need and the support that they need to really compete, to make things happen?
The current state, after I made a survey for both foreign and Vietnamese companies, the training day is less than actually 1 day a month. So that is not that high, and it is for manager and director levels, not for blue collar.
Let me get that right. So you're saying less than 1 day a month training is being given to manager level and director level?
It was the average of my survey for white collar. For blue collar, I believe it's less than this. So that is something need to be improved. But there is something coming with the era. The new generation is coming coming online. So they have great opportunities.
Online education.
Exactly. So that is a great opportunity for everyone, and we believe the next generation of Vietnam is going to have many opportunities to improve themselves, because before it was happening like this in factories or in our lives, in companies, and everywhere. A bunch of people entering a meeting room and having a training. That is changing. It is still the valid way, maybe today, but tomorrow it will totally change. Everything will be online, virtual, I believe like this. And that is good that we are going to connect every kind of training. We can get every kind of training online with our cell phones or iPads at the time we desire.
Yes.
So I believe it will increase in time, and of course the era is changing, and Vietnam is going to benefit that at the highest level, I believe.
Yes, I do believe, just as you said, we're moving into a different era whereby offline workshops and trainings are disappearing. They're just becoming too expensive with little engagement and retention of information. And as you said, online is the future. How can, in your opinion and in your experience, how can managers, directors of manufacturing factories implement successful online programs into their companies?
For our case, for Lean, on-the-job training is so vital. So even classroom trainings, we say mostly workshops, simulations, and other tools, Lean games are vital. So of course, virtual is going to improve in maybe the coming decades. But right now, for the management people, getting Lean on the job with on the job training, in-house training, or maybe public courses is vital right now to receive the know-how, to receive the knowledge, and share experiences, because it's something we need at the moment. But of course, in future, it's going to change.
Absolutely. So we're looking for more know-how. We're looking for vocational training, support from the public training, etc., as you mentioned. Fantastic. And is there any way that people can contact you? The best way to contact you?
The best way to contact me is LinkedIn, and
yes.
Also WhatsApp and Yellow. So these programs I'm often using, and also Facebook too. But I advise LinkedIn. They can catch me very easily. My name is Murat Bostanci. So Lean Institute Vietnam is also easy to browse and search. And I also want to invite all, not only my managers and directors, but everyone in Vietnam, as long as I can contribute their development of their company or development of their people in the labor. I'm ready to cooperate with them, because Lean Institute Vietnam has one mission, is to contribute development of the industrial and the society in Vietnam through Lean thinking. And we are here to share our know-how, share our experiences and knowledge, and also we want to learn together with our friends. So I advise all engineers, all managers, all directors and operators, leaders, to focus on improvement, continuous improvement opportunities in their work field, even for manufacturing or service, either manufacturing or service industry. And as long as they struggle, they can give us a call, and we are here to support their journey.
Fantastic. So the Lean Institute Vietnam, please contact Murat over there. Connect with him on LinkedIn. He's extremely friendly, spoken as a true leader, and I love what you're doing. It looks like you're extremely passionate about going to the next level with lean manufacturing. It was a pleasure speaking with you today, and I really hope all the listeners enjoyed it too. Murat, fantastic.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you for the invitation and interview, and it's a great pleasure to speak with you and meet with you also. And I wish all the best for our listeners, and I advise them follow Dave, and it's something also I subscribe your channels too. And I wish you all the best of successes.
Thank you, Murat. And please, listeners, if you have any questions, comments, or complaints, you can contact me, Dave, online at theupskillpodcast.com. And you can check out the latest episodes on the website, www.theupskillpodcast.com. Thank you again, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now. So that's it for another episode of Upskill Podcast Vietnam. Thank you very, very much for listening. I really hope this episode brought you value. You can listen to this podcast on anchor.fm/Upskill Podcast, or on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and on Spotify. So I'll talk to you in the next episode. Bye for now, and be great.